what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm Live on a Monday. Yeah, we're back on a Monday. Chase had an anniversary yesterday, so we didn't go live yesterday, and I mean, it's not going to make a difference to the podcast listeners. And like the one person who typically watches it live. So it's not gonna make a huge difference, but yeah, we're going live because, you had an anniversary. Like, did you really do something cool and special and all that other stuff? Or you just took your lady out and got laid?
Well, I just took my lady out and all of that. Cause, I mean, it would have been nice to like go to a movie or something like that, but we really didn't want to be out that long. Plus there was a storm. It started raining really hard on the way home. Mm-hmm. But we went to, there's a place called Cleveland Draft House, and it's basically like a bar, but they have pretty good food. And I got a steak, Amber got fish and chips, which I kind of wish I got the fish and chips because that fish was like bigger than her freaking plate. That was so much food. She ate half of it, and then when she brought it home, Nicole was like, "Did you even eat any of it?" And she was like, "Yeah, I ate half of it." She was like, "What?" But my steak was pretty good. I normally get burgers there, and I think I'll probably stick to getting burgers. It's not that it was like bad. It's just I don't think they really know how to cook a steak like I wanted it to. But I didn't like take it back or anything because I'm not really like that type of person unless it's like terrible, like it's like cold or like something's really wrong with it. But right. It still tasted good. You know, it just was cooked a little too done for me because I ordered it medium rare and it was pretty close to well done. But it was it still was flavorful, it still was juicy, so it didn't really bother me. I just had to chew more.
Okay.
So but it was surf and turf, so I had some shrimp too, and that was good. I mean, I got full. And I actually did not want any beer. I looked at the beer, and I was like,
You went to a beer place and didn't have any beer?
Yeah, I looked over it, and I was like, you know what? I actually don't want beer. So I just didn't get any.
Okay.
So, all right. I just wasn't feeling it. So, but it was a good time, and after it was all done, like, it was raining crazy, and so we pretty much had to run to the car. And since it was like a fall rain, the rain was like 20 degrees.
Right.
But, so it was cool, man.
Word up. I don't think I did anything, crazy, during the past week. Like, as everything has just been kind of like normal. There's a lot of days where I just wasn't really feeling that well. So I just kind of sat around watching TV, watching YouTube, and just kind of letting it be what it is. Like, there really hasn't been like a ton going on here. I played something. Mm-hmm. But I watched a lot. Most of it YouTube. But like all of my shows are back. Well, all of them except one. So I've been, catching up on episodes like the day after, you know how that goes. So I've been catching up on shows and, watching a lot of YouTube, and like the YouTube led me to the game that I played. So, I ended up, because I was watching because I was having problems in one of these tycoon games. Mm-hmm. And so like I watched a ton of people play tycoon games, the same tycoon game. And I realized what they were doing wrong. And then I was able to like figure out from what they were doing wrong and the few things that I did right. And I was just like, oh, you did it the same way that I did it and you're not succeeding. So like it must go this other way. And that was Rec Center Tycoon. I really like that game. It's still in early access. So it's not really, there's pieces of it that's still not available yet.
Rec Center, is that like a gym?
Yeah, it's a gym, but like you expand from like just being a gym. You start off with just gym stuff, and then you go into more entertainment stuff. Like you can put like arcades and pool tables and pinball machines, and
So
then
you're going for
eventually.
more like straight up the why.
Yeah, and then like then you get a pool. You can eventually you can work yourself into an event center where you have a little
Oh,
space where people will come and want to do like work parties or birthday parties and stuff like that, and they want to do it there. And you just got to have the kind of the buffet tables and the space for it, and all of that kind of stuff. And then and then the gym part is like you know I would say a good 70% of it because you have different levels of gym stuff to unlock, whether it be weightlifting stuff or cardio stuff. And then like eventually you go into the part where you can hold classes. And it's just kind of cool. And that like there's going to be like more things added. And there's going to be like, things where you can hold like competitions and all of that kind of stuff with the people that come to your gym. It's actually pretty cool. There's some things about it that I would change. And I hope some of it will change over time, but it's still in early access. So it has, I think I don't know how many. There's only one guy that really speaks for it, so I don't know if he's making this game by himself. But like, so like, it'll take some time for everything to get ironed out. But so far, it's actually pretty cool, and I dig it quite a bit.
oh, and that was Rec Center Tycoon.
Yes, and then I've been watching a lot of a game that I want to buy, but I haven't because it's a it's a kind of a I don't know how you call it. It's called Spellcasters University. And it's one of those I don't know whether it's not like a city builder or like even it's kind of like you're building a building or a series of buildings and but it's card based.
Huh.
So like whenever you have something where you draw a card, you draw a card and you draw a card out. You press a button and then three cards pop up and you got to choose one of the three cards and then you build that on top of like the existing structure of a building. You start off with one little piece, which is just like the entrance to your school, and a few cards of like the basics, like somewhere for people to sleep, so, people where they eat, and it's kind of it kind of goes to like the Hogwarts type deal where you have houses and like you set up your own houses, like you design the logos, you name each house, and you can also tell them like which of the five areas of magic they can specialize in or not do at all.
Okay.
And you have like complete control over that. And then there's a lot of stuff to it. Like there's a certain factions and stuff like that you have to appease. And if you, piss off too many people, they'll actually come attack your school. Um, I think it's one of those things where it's all building up to something. I just don't know. Like everybody who I've watched play this game has not gotten to the something. There's a meter at the top of the screen, and like you have a certain amount of time before you can make your students good enough that they're supposed to be able to fight the Dark Lord or whatever the fuck. But like everybody who I've watched, it's basically like if your school isn't good enough and your students aren't good enough, then you just basically close that school down and you build another one in another area. And different areas have different properties, like different build areas. And the people are different. Like you build closer to town, you get more wealthy people as opposed to building further away. And where you have to, you're probably struggling to make money, because money goes into your basic deck. You know what I mean? You have different decks. You have the basic deck, which gives you the basic classes and the basic building pieces. And then each magic discipline, I guess you could say, has like their own specialty buildings for increasing that type of magic. And like the more of it you have and the more students that do it, they build mana in those different disciplines in order for you to be able to use it in different ways, but mostly you use it to get more cards. So is really cool. Is a really cool with cross between like building education, like trying to make sure that your students are educated. Has a ton of pseudo Hogwarts stuff in it. So like if you're a Harry Potter fan, like you might actually really dig this. And then and then it's the card thing, which changes how you play because everything doesn't come up the same because like you might have a lot of the same types of places to build in your school, but you don't necessarily get those in the same orders because of course it's you're drawing from a deck or you're drawing from 6 decks and you gotta you get 3 cards at a time and you gotta choose one of those cards. It's like that type of thing. That's also in early access, so I know that there's going to be some changes to it. I really dig it. It's just the fact that it's still pretty early. Not too many people have completely figured it out, and it's like $25. So I put it in my wish list to see when there's going to be a sale or some shit, and I'll keep an eye out for when it pops up on Humble or something.
Yeah.
But I really do want to play. Like I super want to play. So depending on if I have the $25 one day, before it goes on sale, like I might pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
And I think it would be something cool. It would be something cool, like for like my daughter who has gone through the Harry Potter books, but I don't think she doesn't love it like her parents do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like because at the time we loved it, and I both of us separately, but we still love it. The whole Harry Potter thing. I used to listen to Harry Potter podcasts and like all kinds of shit. Like I was really about that life. So that's a game that I really want to get into. Like I don't, but and I've had a hankering.
Here comes that word again.
I've had a hankering.
Okay.
I was waiting for Maximum Football to come out. And Maximum Football is Doug Flutie's Maximum Football, and when
Is
it's
that
an
the one
indie
is that the one that's supposed to be like NCAA?
yes, like the previous games has been Canadian football, and they were coming out with this new one, and it is was supposed to be it's a college football game. It's a small team, and they basically created and gives you the tools to create like 130 colleges or whatever like that in like fake colleges. And like also like they went through and they created all of these teams, and they have a bunch of logos and stuff like that you can change and manipulate however you want to. And
So you think it
I
might
was
be kind of like a Forza, but for football, to where people can go in and make their own logos and stuff like that?
No, it was. I don't think it. I don't think they can make their own logos because that will require importing. I think it's like if the football gameplay was good enough, it would have been a delivering on the promise that Team Builder in NCAA 14 was.
Yeah. Well, you
Because
said it would require importing. I think you underestimate the power of these dudes in Forza, because Forza has no importing either.
No, what you call it? These, as far as I know, I don't know this for certain. As far as I know, most of these logos and stuff like that are there, and you can change the colors and stuff like that, but they are there. It's not like you construct the logos from pieces. I don't know if that part of it is there. That's why I say that it's not Forza.
Okay.
But I know it's a lot of logos, and some of the logos look really fucking dope. And you know, you can tell they put a lot of time and effort into this. It's just the football is just not very good. And like for real, if the football was just on the level of NCAA 14, this would be a runaway smash hit because I know tons of people, and I even follow YouTubers that still play like custom 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 dynasty modes with like a created team. One of the guys I follow, his YouTube name is Not the Expert, and he has a team. He has a
It's
team called the UGF Pandas, and like I watched like pretty much every episode of his Panda series, and then he started another one where he took a team from like a team of like a whole bunch of ranked 40 walk-ons and is trying to build them up over time, like that type of thing.
is NCAA 14 on current gen consoles?
It is not. It is not. I don't think it's ever going to be available on current gen consoles because of all of the stuff with the license issues and all of that kind of stuff. Like all of that.
I just thought that like since it's a 2014 title that you know the consoles come out in 2013. I didn't know if it was just never it was released after the new consoles, but still on the old.
No, remember football games are dated for the year before.
Oh, okay.
So
so that came out in 2013.
The year after it came out in 2013. So even though it says 14, but it came out in 13, and these games typically come out like end of summer, and you know the consoles didn't come out until November. You know,
oh, okay. All right, makes sense.
So I would love to be able to play this, you know, just like put this shit on EA Access and just let me have fun. I wish that was the case. You know, at the time, I actually put extra money into NCAA 14. At one point, I was running 3 online dynasties with friends. And then like I had one dynasty where it was a bunch of like the OFR guys and all kinds of stuff. Like we all would play and I would be in charge, and then we would just kind of forward the league every week. You know, I can't remember which day of the week it was, but like one day a week I would forward the league. We would all pick our teams. And we did one where we all just picked whatever team we wanted. Because I'm not really a fan of any team, like I let everybody else choose first, and then I chose like Oregon or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the only reason why I chose Oregon is because they have all of the cool uniforms because they're right next to Nike. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, like everybody who was like a Bama fan and Auburn and all that kind of stuff, they all chose their shit. And I'm just like, nah, motherfucker, Oregon. They got all these uniforms, dog. All of them. Like that type of shit. And then I did one where, I did another one where we all started as a 1-star coordinator and then like went through the process of trying to get our character to a better job, which is also what I was doing myself. I had a series that I was doing, but here's the problem. I had a series that I was doing on my YouTube page, and I was doing basically that. I was a 1-star coordinator, and I didn't play the game. The game got boring for me to actually play, so I was just coaching. Like I was just coaching. I told them what plays to do and then like watch them play, or like, you know, try to do it that way instead of like physically playing the game, because at some point it got too easy for me. So I did that, but the only problem is like with the crappy capture card and stuff that I had in the software and stuff that I was using, like I didn't feel comfortable enough like editing a lot, because I could have edited quite a bit, but I just did it as like trying to explain like my thought process of what I was going to pick and saying what I was going to pick and like all of that kind of stuff. And I think most of the people who were even following this stuff at the time just thought that the videos were too long. Like I was an offensive coordinator and like the videos were still like a half an hour each.
Yeah.
And you only got to see one side of the ball because I had nothing to do with however the defense was. So like, imagine what happens when I get to be a head coach, you know, that type of thing. So like, that was a part of that series that I was dreading, because, you know, if I have to be a head coach now the games are going to be twice as long. I mean, the videos are going to be twice as long. So like so it just kind of cooled off because like the main complaint that I was getting was that the videos was too long. I'm pretty sure I could do that now, but I still got that same shitty capture card, that only really does like 720p, even though NCAA 14 does not look that great. Like, you know, compared to like now, like you like what you can see in Madden, and even like when you stream Madden, like it looks way better than NCAA 14 could dream of looking, but it's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to play some NCAA. I don't even know if my fucking if my 360 is plugged in all the way, and like but I really want to play some NCAA like bad. And I sorry. Thank you. Chase didn't say bless you. You see how Chase does me? Um, um, I, um, I really would like to like go back to like making videos and stuff like that, because like that was kind of fun for me. And I kind of wanted to do a dynasty mode with the Scarcasm team. Because like I had the Scarcasm team back in the day. I even made an OFR team, and like if anybody wanted to be a player on the team, I actually put them in the game, and like put them on the team in different places and stuff like that. And like you know, like the Scarcasm team, I think Pimp is like the quarterback. I was the running back. You know, even like people like Layback is like a cornerback. Layback is like a cornerback or a safety, and like Jaybird is like a cornerback or a safety. Like you know, and like Anthony Alex is like a defensive. Is like is on the defensive line or some shit like that. Like I was just putting my friends in the game, you know. And I think I would dig do I would think I would really dig doing that again.
Hey man, that's some fun.
Yeah. And like the one time when I first started, when I first got that capture card, I did a thing where I was, where I did the Scarcasm team and I just played a game against another team. And out of those NCAA videos, that was the most popular NCAA video. Out of those videos, that was the most popular one.
Huh.
You know, people really dug the Scarcasm team, and I don't know, like it just all kind of worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to do that again. And even if it's just something that I do on just my end, and I'm just doing this myself, I think it still would be a ton of fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I already talked about, you know, video games and stuff like that. What's going on with you? Video games wise?
I've really been playing too much. When I have been playing, I've been just jumping into Destiny 2 with my brother. And that's been pretty cool to get back into playing something actually social with somebody, you know.
You still about that life?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's still Destiny. It's still fun. I mean, the gameplay is still top notch, and I dig the new expansion. Like it's got a cool feel to it, and but I mean I haven't really been playing much, but when I have been playing, it's been fun. So.
Okay.
But I did watch a movie though, a new
What'd
movie.
you watch?
I saw Joker.
Yeah, I did the Dream Team yesterday, and what you call it? Um, Jay was telling me about the movie because Rashani had to leave early, and I'm glad I didn't care.
Really?
Yep, so
Well,
glad.
well, I didn't think it was too bad. I did think they borrowed a little too much from Taxi Driver. It was very Taxi Driver, which makes sense because I believe Scorsese kind of helped in some way, but I don't know, but it's definitely not a happy movie or a movie to where you're like, yay, go team. You're like the bad guy's the main character and he's a really bad guy and you're not supposed to pull for him. So you're like kind of felt left feeling kind of empty, but that's kind of the point. It's not really a feel good movie. But
Right.
so it definitely does not feel like a superhero movie because it's not.
I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things, and it's been described to me as an incel's wet dream, where it's like the idea that this person became who they were because of outside circumstances, and it was like these things are not under my control type thing, you know?
Uh-huh.
These things are not under my control. I became this way because you didn't respect me or you didn't acknowledge that I'm special. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, you didn't acknowledge that I'm special. So now I'm just going to be super brutal for no reason.
Yeah.
And I look at it like, I'm just not here for that. You know? That's just kind of how I feel about it. I ain't really here for all that.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. It's but yeah, it's definitely not he's definitely not a character you're supposed to idolize. I mean, I don't think that's the point. It's actually kind of taking the because a lot of people like the character of Joker, and this movie makes you, at least it's supposed to make you, you know what, Joker's a bad guy, and he always been a bad guy. You
Yeah,
know?
like yeah, and like just like if you, I the one hope that I had for the movie was like I hoped that it had a situation where they would be like, if you identify with this, something is wrong with you. But it doesn't seem to have gone there with it. You know what I mean? Like something is, like it didn't go as far as having that kind of a message. Like, yeah, this person is really fucked up. And if you identify with this, something is fucking wrong with you, dude. And it just doesn't seem to have gone that far. And like the idea that like, the premise behind the character is basically the same premise behind mass shooters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like behind incels and behind mass shooters, you know, is just really that really just kind of turned me off to this. Like this is uh the absolute worst time for this movie. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When you have to consider metal detectors in the movie theater. You know what I mean? And this is even after what happened. What was the movie where the guy in Colorado shot up the movie?
the Dark Knight Rises.
It was a Dark Knight movie. Like even after that, they didn't really do the whole metal detectors in the movie theater thing. Somebody had this forethought of like, yo, this movie is coming out. These motherfuckers is already doing this crazy shit. This may spark them and make this shit worse. Maybe we need to have metal detectors and shit in the movie theater. And that's a statement in itself. Like somebody walked into a movie theater years ago with fucking body armor and shit like that and fucked a whole lot of people up. And they didn't have this reaction to it. They didn't have the reaction to what he did as just this movie existing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But like I've heard people I've heard people say that the movie was all right. Like it wasn't that bad. I know a lot of people are praising his performance. Like they don't necessarily agree with the movie and how it goes, but his performance was actually really good. Like I've
Well, I mean,
heard
that's
that.
the thing. Is yes, like if you identify with this character, yes, there is something wrong with you. Like you're not supposed to. Like, I mean, there's been like, say, a
But
Clockwork Orange,
if you don't explicitly say that in
but
the
you
course,
don't really, it don't really explicitly say in a Clockwork Orange that you're not supposed to identify with the main character, who is probably worse of a character than Joker is.
yeah, but like we didn't have this issue during the time of Clockwork Orange. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's the difference. The difference is the climate of today where like it's really easy to have a weapon where you can walk in a place and kill 30 people in a few minutes and like and that's just something that can happen. You can kill 30 people in minutes
yeah,
before anybody can do anything about it. That wasn't necessarily the case when Clockwork Orange was out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But I do think that putting that on the movie is real close to like blaming movies or video games or any of that kind of stuff for what these motherfuckers are doing.
No, because if there was no, I don't think that's the case. Because if it was actually blaming the movie,
Mm-hmm.
if it was actually blaming the movie, they wouldn't be able to put the movie out. Period. I think it's a precautionary situations. Like we know that these people are out here, and the last thing we need is for someone to be sparked by this. You know what I mean? Like the same way when school shootings started fucking happening and like when Columbine and stuff happening, all of the experts they all said one thing and we never fucking listened. Stop plastering their fucking picture all over the fucking news every day. Like that person who's crazy enough to do this sees that and understands that they can gain a level of infamy from this. They're not worried about being famous. The infamy that comes from this is what you are continuing when you keep plastering this shit online. And like the idea that the media has gotten so out of fucking control with this shit. And like, something happens and like, like what happened with the cop that shot Botham Jean. Like you seen her picture way more than you saw his. You know what I mean? People talked about her and did articles about her, and you saw her face way more than her victims. And like that's where the problem lies. Because like,
that's what Natural Born Killers is about. It's not really about what they're doing. It's about the media and how they're making them the two main characters of the movie. They're making them stars for
yes.
being terrible people, and then people would still go and be like, "Natural Born Killers is a terrible movie that's like has all this violence and stuff." And all that talk about how violent the movie is and how it is celebrating violence, they're completely missing. It's almost proving the movie's point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all just kind of fucked up. And like I said, like this is kind of the worst climate for that movie. Because you don't like, you have to do the precautionary part because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And you don't know if someone's going to end up being hurt, and all of that. Like, and like, the whole thing with these incels. I saw somebody post a picture and it was a screenshot from an incel chat room. And this dude actually got off and he said what he likes to do when he goes into a new area and he's just walking down the street, he'll find a young girl who's by herself and he'll ask her for directions and then just kind of badger her about it to where she starts running away from him and he just kind of follows her for a while. And he said he doesn't actually touch her. He doesn't actually do anything like rape or anything like that. He just gets off on the fact that she's afraid and runs away from him. Like, this is like an open fucking conversation in these dark fucking corners of the fucking internet. This is normal for them. Like, and not only does he say that this is something that he likes doing, he suggests that the rest of them try it. You know what I mean? Just like, I like to find a young girl, ask her for directions, stop her and ask her for directions, and then fuck with her long enough for her to be afraid of me. And then I just follow her for a while, but I don't really do anything, so I can't really get in trouble. All I did was ask her for directions, and then, we just happen to be going the same way. Like, that's how he rationalized it. But he's like getting off on the fantasy of just scaring someone for no fucking reason at all. And it's telling
that is doing so. Like, isn't that sort of like borderline stalker?
Yeah, is borderline stalker, but like like he says in this thing, like all he does is just follow her for a little while just to see how truly afraid she gets. And he's getting off on that. And he's just like, I didn't do anything to her. We just happen to be going the same way. If I get stopped, we just happen to be going the same way. I asked her for directions. I didn't do anything else. And he has total plausible deniability for this by just doing this like really like fucked up act where he didn't actually like harm her, but like mentally scarring somebody from like now, like like whoever he's done this to is probably like way averse to even just answering a question from a random dude on the street. Like, you know what I mean? What happens to the guy who really needs directions and is fucking lost? Now, like, he walks up to the wrong person and like, that could be something that's very harmful to him just because this guy wanted to get his fucking rocks off.
Yeah. Yeah, Incel's a weird man. There's a podcast called Radio Lab, and, well, was it them or was it It might have been Invisibilia. I get them mixed up. Because some of their episodes are similar, but Invisibilia is one that is kind of associated with Radio Lab, but they're only during like the springtime. They have like a season, but they kind of talk about things that you can't really see but are real, like things in your mind and stuff. And they had an episode about incels, and the dude was totally on there, and he was completely honest and fucking fucked up, and like the most you're like, this dude has no soul.
Yeah. And it's really, and like, there's a guy that I follow, and he has a very, his podcast is very like, anti-political correctness. And like, every time like a mass shooting happens, he always says like, he's like, just wait, because you're going to find out two things about the mass shooter. One, there's usually a single parent. And two, that person is usually pretty ugly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that person is usually ugly. And like that whole thing of like that incel mindset of like this, like I can't get with ladies, and like the world owes me something, even though like I'm not cool enough to go past my ugliness to get it. Is like a real thing with like a lot of these mass shooters. And like, he does it every single time. He's just like, wait till we get the picture of the shooter. And every time there's the picture of the shooter, he was like, see, like, like it's like real. It's like over and over again. It's like the same thing. And almost all of them have this kind of weird, like some of it is kind of Trumpian, but a lot of it has a incel undertone. A lot of it has an incel undertone, and like some of those things do collide, with not just the idea that like women or something like, or the world owes them a relationship. But like the guy who shot up at El Paso, like he was just convinced that like there was an invasion by Mexicans in El Paso, and like it was up to him to do something about it. You know what I mean? Like that it's a very similar mind state to where it's like these people feel like it's up to them to do something about it. And like, that's the harm that a movie like Joker can actually cause, because like someone who's already like thinking in that direction will be like, well, I like the Joker and this shit happened with the Joker. Like the Joker, no one admitted out loud that he was special. So he took matters into his own hands. Maybe I can do that too.
Right.
But like, I still think it's not just the Joker. Like, I think, like a lot of people say that it's rap music that does this to people, that sparks brains, to, if you're already going down one way and like you seek to the glory of like wanting to live up to being a gangster. But I also think that it's country music. I think country music is just as damaging as hip hop. And gangster rap. I think country music, is just as damaging. The whole, America first, blind Americana with no questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like getting drunk and going to the bar is like the thing that we do. And like, what do you do after you get drunk and go to the bar and want to rep for your American ideal? The same way that hip hop, wants you to get high or drink and all that kind of stuff and rep for your gangster ideal. Like, it's all the same. It's just like different. It's affecting different types of people, but it's all the same to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're all affecting people in some way. Now, most normal people are not being affected at all.
Right.
But I think it does affect people. And I think that like there is no that gangster rap and fucking country music are to their respective listeners just as harmful as each other. Yeah. I've always said that. Now, I granted, I'm not a fan of country music, and it's not just like I'm just trying to shit on country music, but like this shit is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this shit is real, and like motherfuckers who listen to like old country, where they really talk that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker, I know what David Allan Coe was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what the fuck this is. And I know what fucking what Hank Williams was really talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some real shit there that if like when you know what you're listening to, like, you get to read between the lines and find out there's some real fucked up shit in what you're listening to. And like I said, it's the same on both sides. It's not like I wouldn't absolve rap from any of this blame and then put it all on country music. But I think someone needs to say country music is just as damaging when it comes to this type of shit. Because because rap gets all of the blame for this. Like, we talk about like music and when you talk about music, like movies, just like that's, well, let's be honest, we're, as Americans, violence is in our nature. Everywhere else in the world, violence is bad, sex is all right. Mm-hmm. Only here, sex is bad, but violence is fucking A-okay. And then like, you kind of look around and like, like how many fucking school shootings are happening in all of these other places? Like, what they said, like in the past, like 50 fucking years, like, Canada has had like less than 10, and they have access to all of the same shit that we do, except for their shit is reversed, like the most of the other countries in the world, where violence is bad, sex is good, but like it just so happens here it's the other way around. We glorify violence, and then we all act shocked when violence happens.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of that, I can segue. Okay. So now there's no spoilers on this. There's no spoilers in this, but there's a smidge of what I'm talking about in a TV show that I just finished recently, which is Raising Dion.
Okay.
Raising Dion, I really like it. I know a lot of people don't, and like I said last week, like a lot of people who I know that really don't dig it are like most of them are not parents. So they don't understand that like this kid, even though this kid is acting, this is really what a second grader is like. You know what I mean? Like you take a second grader and then you give him fucking superpowers. This is what the fuck you're actually going to get. This is, you know, like this is exactly what a second grader is like. But I don't know, a lot of people don't like the kid. But like, I think it's really dope, and I think it could lead to some really good stuff if they don't fall into a bunch of traps. I think it's have you ever seen the movie Chronicle?
No.
I think because Michael B. Jordan is in Chronicle, and Michael B. Jordan is also, he's in this, but I think he's also like a producer or something like that, somebody behind the scenes on this. It has very much of a Chronicle type feel to me anyway. I thought about that after the fact, that it felt like Chronicle, where like Chronicle was just like these three random teenagers in high school. I think like Michael B. Jordan's character didn't even really know them that well. And like they stumble upon something and then they all get superpowers, and then it absolutely corrupts one of them. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what Chronicle is about. But Chronicle is really dope. You should watch that if you haven't. And this is basically like, it's like a TV show version of like Chronicle starring a second grader. You know what I mean? And like a mom trying to figure out how the fuck to deal with a second grader. And I don't think it's bad. Like, and it's only 9 episodes, so it's not like it's a long watch or anything like that. I actually liked it quite a bit. I'm looking forward to season 2.
Oh,
and then let me see what else. What else have I watched? Most of my shows are back. Flash is back. All American. I'm on the All American train now. I know I was supposed to be a long time ago, according to Blue, but I'm on the All American train now. The first episode of the new season was crazy, and like the very end of the episode was like, what? But like that's really good. I think the new episode is today, so I'll be able to watch it tomorrow on the CW app. And like I'm watching The Good Place. So far, The Good Place, this is supposed to be the last season, and I don't know, like it just hasn't really like done it for me yet. Like I really, really like The Good Place, and it just hasn't really done very much for me at all. The Wu-Tang is still going. I think there's a couple more episodes left of Wu-Tang. The fucked up part about Wu-Tang is like we were this close to actually getting some real fucking Wu-Tang shit, and then it got cut short. And I was mad as fuck, because I was like, yo, what the fuck? We was about to get some Wu-Tang, and then the motherfucker came in and shut everything down, and there's not no motherfucking Wu-Tang, and I ain't got no actual fucking Wu-Tang yet. Like, this is some bullshit. But I will say, the last episode is talking about RZA's career before Wu-Tang, and the one song that he put out before Wu-Tang, and like it surrounds like the making of the music video for that song. Before he was the RZA, but he was Prince Rakeem. And like they recreated, like I watched, I had seen that video before. And then like I went back and watched the video after I watched the episode, and like they recreated that part of the music video like 100%. Like it was accurate as fuck. And then learning like the what was happening behind it all. Was kind of cool. Like you kind of get a glimpse of like what everybody was going through around the whole, like, what do you mean? Like, you're going to put me on a stage with a fucking tuxedo and all this kind of shit. Like, I'm fucking RZA. You know what I mean? Like, I'm RZA. You're putting me on stage with a fucking tuxedo with a cummerbund and shit. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, like that type of thing. And I really dig it. Like, so I know a lot of people really didn't like this last episode. I think it's shared, it's going like really deep. And like it's slow. It's paced really slow, and I think that's on purpose because they want to be able to extend this out for multiple seasons. But like the only thing that I'm missing in this Wu-Tang show is like actual Wu-Tang shit. But I think we're this close. Like they might just actually like really like there's only like 2 episodes left, I think. So they might actually close on like actual Wu-Tang, and then like we gotta actually come back for the next season to find out some like what happened with the Wu-Tang shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because that's funny. I was like got in a mood to listen to Wu-Tang not too long ago, and I listened to 36 Chambers, and then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for listening to Bone Thugs. Like I just got into like an early 90s, and then
we talked about that. We talked about that one. We talked about that on the Dream Team about like what other group would you like to see this type of TV show about? And like the only group you can think of is Bone Thugs, because all of the other groups that you can think of, like, yeah, they don't seem interesting enough for a TV show. And like, there's certain groups where you only know like 1 or 2 people, and like the rest of the people are like playing the background. So like
plus Cypress Hill.
But like Cypress Hill, like most casual listeners to Cypress Hill know Be Real. Like we only know who the other 2 dudes are because there's 2 other dudes. Like we know there's the other dude who actually just like yells shit. But like when I like how, I mean, as a casual Cypress Hill listener, like I can't recite nothing that motherfucker has ever said in his life. And then there's a third dude who's there, or I don't know, I'm guessing that's the DJ or whatever. I have no fucking idea who that is. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I was listening to East 1999, and I was like,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Like, I don't care who you are, like what kind of music. That shit is like a fucking masterpiece.
And it has 2, count them, 2 Eternal Champions samples. 2, the original Crossroads and what's the name of the song? Hold on.
So what's
it has the original Crossroads is a sample is a sample from Eternal Champions, and I think Eternal is
that's what I was about to say, because it's literally called Eternal. But,
yes. Yeah, but both of those are Eternal Champions samples.
But yeah, what's your favorite track from that album?
The first song.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I like that. Let's see. I
really like Crept and McCain.
I like that one. Yeah. I like that one too. I think the first, like, it starts so strong.
Yeah.
And like the whole first half, I think everything up until Crossroads is golden.
Yeah.
First of the Month was the single, and it's the song that everybody know, other than like the remix to Crossroads, which like wasn't on the original shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I think everything up to Crossroads is golden. I fuck with it all.
Nice.
I kind of pick and choose like stuff from there. And then there's also the Demolition Man sample. Lie down with your hands behind your head, and then he flips. It's like, no, bitch, you lay your funky ass on the ground now. That the cop part is from Demolition Man, where he was, remember on Demolition Man when he was reading the instructions of what to tell Simon Phoenix.
Yeah.
That was from there.
Nice. Yeah, that was a crazy ass movie. Taco Bell wins all.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but yeah, man, it's all kinds of. I think that is my favorite Bone Thugs. I really liked the first one. I like Creeping on the Come Up, but Creeping on the Come Up is short. Like it is fucking short.
I always considered that kind of an EP, you know, almost like a.
I think it probably is considered an EP. Yeah, I just looked it up. It is considered an EP because, like, I think Creeping on the Come Up, it's not even a half an hour, is it?
Yeah, because it's like almost, it's like the intro, because they still have that creeping kind of vibe in 1999. So, you know, it's kind of like the intro, you know what I mean? That's how I always kind of saw it. But, I mean, the two, was it like the Art of War or whatever? I don't think they're like the best things ever, but I do really like Thug Love.
Okay. So here's the thing that that Art of War was proof of.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to make a compelling whole, like, you listen to the whole double album. Like,
right.
A double album is really hard to make that shit work and make that shit compelling. Because in my Wu-Tang listen, I actually went back and I listened to the whole Forever. And I was like, bruh, do you know, if I wasn't like, I really want to hear this in its entirety, you know how much of this shit I would have skipped? Bruh. Like, yo, it was not even, I mean, I forgot that I kind of don't even fuck with like most of the whole first disc of Forever. Like, I pick and choose from the first disc. Like, all of my jams are on the second disc.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's really hard to pull off a double disc of anything. Like, it's extremely difficult. Like, Biggie was the closest I can think of.
I mean, outside of hip hop, it's like the only things that really pulled it off is the things that wasn't even really trying to be a double disc. It had to be, like, a lot of like the prog rock stuff where they had like 30-minute songs, like 2 songs is like 2 records. but like, even like, I think of like Smashing Pumpkins, like the Melancholy album. I literally almost hate that album because there is some really good tracks off that album. It's just, but there's so much fluff, just literally to fill a double album. It's like you could have like cut out a lot of this shit, put in all the bangers, and had a really solid album. But instead, you're like, I'm going to put all the songs that we were just working on this album that should have been on the cutting room floor just because I want to make a double album. No. Just
someone that I thought did something really interesting with the whole 2-disc thing, and I'm not counting Speaker Box and Love Below. I'm not. Just fuck that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not counting that as
2 different albums.
To me, it's 2 different albums that were put in the same package.
Yeah,
but on that level, I think Big Crit's Forever is a Mighty Long Time has a really good a balance between the 2 discs, because the first disc is like his Big Crit persona and like who he is as a rapper, and it has his rap songs on it. And then like the second disc is, he called it the Justin Scott side, and that is like who he is as a person, where he's talking about his personal feelings, his personal struggles, and like it's a completely different, like there's I mean it's like a completely different feel, almost Speaker Box Love Below-ish, but it is the same guy. It's just like 2 different sides of the same person. And like those 2 things are completely separate from each other. And I think that it all works together well.
Cool.
But I still wouldn't put that up as like an example of like, I still wouldn't put that up as an example of like
Jay-Z's?
of good double disc. No, Jay-Z's, no. Blueprint 2. So many skippables. Like I'm a Jay-Z fan, but Blueprint 2 has a lot of skippables. Like they even came out with another album called the Blueprint 2.1 where they just cut a lot of stuff and made it 1 disc. Like, because like at some point somebody realized they needed to do that. You know what I mean? So even though I will say this, when they cut it down, there's some things that got cut that I would have put on the one disc, and there's some things that stayed that I would have cut.
So you're better off just making your own playlist.
Yes, which I did.
Which a lot of this is actually,
because that was iPod time, anyways.
Yeah, because a lot of this is not even applicable anymore, anyway. Because a double disc now is just longer. Like your Spotify album is just over an hour versus 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. So,
or you can do. I turned the camera off because I was kind of blowing my nose.
It's fine.
And I'm kind of so I didn't want to see people. I didn't want people to see me like cleaning out my nose.
So there's really no if you're listening to digitally, there's no actually switching disc anymore. So it's just
right. But then you have didn't Chris Brown put out a fucking album with 40 songs on it just because he could? I think that happened recently because it was all digital. Put it all the fuck out. Who cares?
I've noticed that with a lot of hip hop to where it would be a shitload of tracks, even if they're not all songs. For some reason, at least a lot of hip hop that was from the 2000s, everything was almost a play. There's song and then there's a skit and there's a couple of songs and a couple more skits and it was.
Yes. Chris Brown's album, Heartbreak on a Full Moon. The album is a quote unquote double disc consisting of 45 tracks. He put out an album with 45 tracks on it because it was all digital and he wasn't selling a disc anyway. So why the fuck not, I guess.
Right. That's actually why a lot of the, when you have a lot of these modern albums put on vinyl, they're all fucking expensive because
you need multiple fucking vinyls because this shit can't fit.
Yeah, because even a normal size CD, you can literally less than 20 minutes on a side of one record. So less than 40 minutes for one record. So if your album is over an hour, it's going to be on 2 discs, 2 records, even if one record is just kind of short.
Oh, and then then Chris Brown did it again. He put out a album with 30 tracks. The Indigo that just came out in June has 30. According to Wikipedia, it's 30, even though the track listing has 29. I don't know how you got 30 if the track listing here is 29, but who the fuck knows? But yeah, he did it again. So I mean, let's be honest, with 30 fucking songs, he's had 6 singles from Indigo. You know what I mean? Who the fuck has 6 singles out of one fucking album? That's crazy for you to be able to get six singles out of how to get a whole 6 singles out of an album, period. I know people have done it. I know it's been done, but that's crazy.
Well, even all the single thing is kind of bullshit anyway, because you're literally releasing this song as a single, and that's the song that's going to get played. It's not like someone bought the album. It's these 4 songs, I like these songs, and I'm going to talk about these and put them on the radio. It's they, make this happen.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What have you been checking into? I think I talked enough.
That's pretty much it. I talked about music. I talked about some video games and talked about what I watched. We did watch, Us.
I still have never watched it. I haven't watched that yet. I haven't watched the previous one. Was the previous one the,
Get Out?
Yeah, I've never seen Get Out.
Cool.
I know I probably done some punches off my black card. I know. But I haven't seen it. It's just something that I'd okay, I want to do this, and then I just never really came across it. And I know I have Us that I can rent, from the Googles. I just never really did it. I know I need to watch fucking El Camino now. You know what I'm saying? It's always so much to fucking watch. And then and then Jay gave me some Netflix series, which is about a guy and his dog, but it's like black people and their dogs, and it's like really weird. And it's like, he's so New York, but like really loves his dog, like type thing. But he said it's actually is like really funny and it's really good.
Hmm. Yeah. And we've been trying to get to where we can watch this one movie called Midsummer, which it seems like this like couple like visits their friend in like Scandinavia or something, and then it ends up being some sort of nightmare cult. But
that is on Google Play, ain't it? I think I've seen that on Google Play.
I'm pretty. It just came out on DVD. It was a summer movie, but
yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if that's something that you can rent or that's something that they make you buy. But I have seen it. I did. Oh, I forgot. I finally watched Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, word.
I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think it was as good as people were saying, but I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it. And I'm glad Spider-Man's still sticking around for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing.
Yeah, that's good. Because it would have really sucked to like all of a sudden you like built this whole universe, and then because of rights now that doesn't exist anymore.
You can rent Midsummer from Google for $5.
Word.
And I do the Google rewards thing, so I can get it. I don't even use my own money for this shit. Oh, have I talked about Orphan Black?
I think you mentioned something about it last time.
Holy fuck, is this shit good? Like, bruh. Oh, all right, to the microphone.
Okay.
Holy fuck, is Orphan Black. Like, if you watch Orphan Black and you got the few extra dollars and you dig Orphan Black, Mike J, I'm talking to you. Do this shit. It's on an app. You got to download the app, and it's called Cereal Box. And Cereal Box is about to come out with some real shit. Like they got to deal with Marvel, and they're going to release audiobooks, episodically with Marvel and DC. Cause I saw that there's a Flash movie and there's a Flash, story and a Thor story coming out, in audiobook episodic format.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they got some other stuff up there that I don't really care about. I only really got here for the Orphan Black. Bruh, this shit is really good. Like it's like, I dig audiobooks in the first place. Like I'd rather listen to an audiobook than read a book, like, because, I'd rather be able to do something else with my hands.
Yeah, I listen to Orphan Black.
No, it ain't that type of thing. I'd rather like do something, like be able to do something and still consume it. But like the production values and like the fact that Tatiana Maslany is like a phenomenal actress, because like she's doing all of the voices now. Like, of course she did a lot of the characters in the TV show, but now she has to do the rest of them too. Like, so like, and the fact that she's able to do that, and like you're able to distinguish who these people are, just by how she uses her voice. I said the same thing about Jim Dale. Jim Dale reads, it does a lot of I think it was Jim Dale who does the Harry Potter audiobooks, but he also did the other story, that J.K. Rowling did under a pseudonym, called A Casual Vacancy. And like, there's so many different characters in A Casual Vacancy, and he does them all. And like, when like he switches character, you have an idea who's speaking, which is weird because it's all coming from the same person, but you know who's speaking. And she's the same way. Reading this, and like it's descriptive enough for you to understand. If you watch the TV show, then you understand who these people are, what they look like, their mannerisms. Like you can hear their mannerisms, bruh. Like, this is real life, dog. Like, it's fucking dope. And if you've never seen Orphan Black, I think it's still available on Amazon Prime. If you got Amazon Prime, do that shit. I fucking love Orphan Black. But
Wait.
like, if you watch the show and you dug it, do this shit. It's really good. Episodes come out every Thursday, and so far every episode has been phenomenal. Like, absolutely.
Sweet, man.
So yeah. So are we good here?
I think we're good here. I think we have finished an episode. You know, this is episode 420.
Why didn't you bring the weed?
Well, my vape is dead. Well, it might be charged now, but I got this.
Oh yeah, we never talked about that. All right, so we're about to talk about that for a minute. So like, for everybody who doesn't care about vape stuff.
Yeah, tell them that we're about to start talking about vape while I get my vape.
Okay, yeah, okay. So for everyone who doesn't care about vape stuff, like, we greatly appreciate you for checking out the show and doing your thug thizzle and hanging out with your boys. You could have been doing anything, but you chose to hang out with us for a few minutes, and we greatly appreciate you for that. For everyone else, there's about to be a little bit of vape talk because I got Chase onto some new I got him ordering from a new place, so we're gonna talk about like what we've been into on the vaping stuff. But if you're not down for the vaping stuff, peace out to all of the warriors. Like, we love y'all. Shout out to all of the people, and shout out to all of the homies, man. Y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to my man Meef. Like, shout out to Meef. Like, real deal. Shout out to Meef. But like, yeah. So like, peace out to the warriors on everybody who doesn't care about vape stuff. We about to get into some vape stuff. What's good?
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. All right, I ain't gonna talk.
All right, so for the vape stuff, right?
Yeah.
You asked me about the website I kept telling you about to order stuff from, and you went out and you actually ordered some stuff from there. I just placed an order also.
Uh-huh.
But I placed an order mostly for stuff that I already liked, but I do have a couple things that I am interested in. Ooh, before we talk about vape stuff, because this on YouTube, vaping, especially in the United States, you should not be vaping unless you are 21 years old, or whatever the vaping age is in the place where you live. All right, let's go. What you order?
I got I got both from this company called Humble. I never had them before.
They make a lot of like pastries and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. For one, the 120s
like
were
stuff.
fairly inexpensive. That was one of the main threes. But this one is called Vape the Rainbow.
Okay.
And they also, it's basically kind of like Skittles and ice cream. But
Skittles and ice cream. That's something. It sounds like something my daughter would love.
But they have a menthol version as well of that. And this one is called a Humble Crumble, which is blueberry crumble, basically.
Oh yeah, I'm out on that one.
But yeah, I got both of those together, costing me about $20 because they were kind of like almost $10 each, and then I did the whole thing which gave me like 35% off, which basically negated the shipping, which was good because the shipping was like $9.
Yes, the shipping is very expensive, but
it's 2-day shipping.
Yeah, it's 2-day shipping. Well, it's typically closer to 3 for me. Yeah. But here's the thing: all of the stuff that I buy here, like a lot of the stuff I see in the store, and like the same stuff that I see in the stores, they're like between $20 and $30 to buy,
or like a 60 mil or a 30 mil.
Yeah. No, yeah. And it's crazy because like you see all of this shit and it's just like, bruh, this shit is, I went and because like my biggest problem with ordering from eJuice Connect, which is the website that we're talking about, is they don't have a whole lot of things in 6s. And even though I just switched to 3s primarily, I had to switch to threes because most of the stuff they have was only in threes. So, I would go into a store to buy coils or something like that. And then I'd be like, well, how much is your, Keep It 100 juice? Cause I love the, Keep It 100, blue slushy iced. You know what I'm saying? And they would be like, oh yeah, that's $25. And I'm like, yo, I can get that for $10 online, bruh. Like I can get that for $10 fucking dollars. And like this mod that I bought this mod in the store. This mod was $90 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
I bought this with shipping, and like I got it on a Labor Day sale. But with shipping, I spent like 40. Like with the shipping and everything, I spent like 45.
I figured that was what the one, because I was looking at mods too. Is that Vupu?
Yes, this is a Vupu Drag 2.
Yeah, because I was looking at those, and so I was thinking about getting. So I've had this forever. It barely has paint on it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still doing good, but I hate
Drag
the
2
form factor for when it just wants to fall over.
Yeah. This one is actually pretty good. The Drag 2 is really cool, but the problem with it is like comparatively, the coils are trash. But the reason why I bought this is because I already had a twister with with one of the Freemax tanks on it, and they use the same coils. Because I went to go find something for the twister, and it was like, well, the Vupu coils fit just fine. I bought the Vupu coils and they were trash. So but I was like, yo, if the coils fit and I get a little bit more juice capacity, I could just buy a fucking drag instead of the thing that I was going to buy and just use the Freemax coils in here. So I would buy, if you want one of these, I would say do that shit, but do not buy their coils. Buy Freemax coils. It will save your life.
Okay.
It'll save your life. And mesh coils in general are like, oh my God, so much better than like using round wire coils. Like it's just like the flavor, clouds, like everything is just fucking dope. I can tell you this right here, I can get like everything I need out of this. And I'm using dual meshes, and I'm vaping at 35 watts, dog. 35. I can cloud this whole place up at 35 watts.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so
if that comes through, no, 60. It's 62.
Yeah. See, like, and when I was using one of my other tanks, I was like vaping at 50 or 60, but like this thing works great at 35. And like, I really dig mesh coils. Like, I can't go back to round wire coils. I just can't. I think a round wire coil came with this, and I will never use that bitch. Like, never. That shit will always be in a box somewhere. I will never use that shit ever. But I just placed an order, and they just came out with some new stuff. I think it's called Fuggin Vapor or something like that.
I think I saw that.
So I ordered. I went through the Fuggins, and I saw like out of all the ones that they had, there's like 4 of them that I really wanted to try. So I picked one. I ordered what I normally order, which is my Cloud Nerds. I really dig Cloud Nerds. And, I ordered the, peach blue raspberry iced, which they have it non-iced. My coworkers like it non-iced. But like peach blue raspberry, you don't think that those things really work together that well, but holy fuck.
Is iced menthol, or is iced the thing that kind of makes it cooler that isn't menthol?
They call all of that iced. Basically, call it all iced. I think most of it is colada. It's not like menthol.
Because I like the menthol more than I like the other thing.
You like menthol? Colada. I think they call it colada.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But I like most of my stuff iced. in some way, shape, or form, whether it's menthol or just colada. I dig most of mine iced, but I got what's called Moneymaker by Thug and Vapor, and it's a 120. It's $10.99, and it is green apple, uh, uh, green grapes. Is it green grapes? Yeah, green apple, green grapes, and kiwi. And I really like it, with the exception of I think the kind of aftertaste on the kiwi is kind of bothering me a little bit. And I got 120 of this fucking thing that I got to get through, which is like, I don't know. But like other than that, is really good. But like my cloud nerds, the problem with the problem with having a 120 is like if you don't really like it, it can really fuck with you because you're just like, I got to get through 120 of this. And I have a couple of 120s that I didn't really like very much. And I only just kind of use it like when I'm just sitting around the house, just doing something. And I know I'm just vaping just to vape. And I try to get through it that way.
Word.
But yeah, I love the Cloud Nerds. I love the Keep It 100s. If you like either a cinnamon bun or a peach cobbler, Cinnabomb. Cinnabomb is really good. I know they have a blueberry one too, but I'm not really a huge fan of blueberries. So, but like those are $8.99 for 100s. And like all of this stuff is like really cool. And like the fact that you can get it and you can get a lot of devices and shit for like really fucking cheap, like, compared to like going anywhere else. But like the only problem is because it's all is like really cheap, like you'll find something that you like and then you go to click on it. It was just like, no, we ain't got none. Then why the fuck is this shit still here? We ain't got it. They were doing a thing where they were doing mystery boxes for a while. And the mystery boxes was like $10.99. And you got like a bunch of juice. Like, and you spent $10.99 and they gave you like 5 bottles or some shit.
Uh-huh.
It was crazy. And I was actually trying some new stuff. There was one thing that I really liked out of one of my mystery boxes is it's by Bad Drip, and it's called God Nectar. I really liked God Nectar. But the problem with God Nectar is it's $10.99, but it's only a 60.
Yeah, I noticed that with because Amber does like the naked juice, but on that site it's cheaper than it is in the store, but it isn't that much cheaper. So I think I got a better deal with the Humboldt.
But another one that's really good, another series that's really good, if you even remotely give a shit about fruit flavors, is what's it called? Crap. It's High Drip. High Drip is really good with the fruit flavors, and you have all of their stuff is like you can get it iced or not iced, but like it's like fruit mixtures, and it's like blood orange, pineapple, honeydew, strawberry, mango, peach, and watermelons. And the cool thing about these is they don't just taste like what you think the flavor would be. They taste like the actual flavor of the actual fruit. So like watermelons doesn't taste like watermelon flavor. It tastes like fucking watermelon and cantaloupe and honeydew and shit like that mixed together. Like if you put all of that stuff, let the juice drip down the bottom, and then you drink the juice, it would fucking taste like this. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Nice. It's kind of like when you drink orange juice like Minute Maid for so long, and then you try what's it called, Simply. You're like, this doesn't taste like orange juice. This tastes like fucking oranges.
Yeah, exactly. The Simply Lime was my shit.
Yeah. I
do want to try the Psycho Unicorn, which is a flavor where it's like fucking it's like Twinkies with a fruit with like slightly fruit flavored filling.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, it's on the front page. It just came out not too long ago, and it's that looks kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
So, but like, there's so many things that I've tried. And like the hard part about it is like, you just got to know where to look because it's all like, it's supposed to be like a wholesale type website. So it's not like you're just going to be like, hey, I want some fruit flavors today. Like, what kind of fruit flavors do you have? No, you got to find a brand, see what that brand is offering you and keep it moving from there.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I like it. I did get on the Dollar E-Juice sale. They were doing like, 60 mils for $5 and 120s for $8 with $2 shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple 120s and then I got 160 and then with the $2 shipping, and then I used Honey. Did you install Honey?
Yeah, that's how I was able to get the 35% off on that store. Okay. And then Honey works for Dollar E-Juice too, because there are little things where they have little promo codes that you're like, oh, I got a promo code because I've spent this wheel. Yeah, that promo code never goes away. You can still use that shit, and Honey will have
Word
it. You know, so it'll say it goes away, but it don't. Honey knows.
Word up.
So
it's really dope. I have so many different flavors and all kinds of shit that I would love to talk about on a vaping podcast, but that just makes more fucking podcasts to do. And I don't know if I'm really about that life. But yeah, I think that's it. Like, for everybody who's stuck around this long, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. If we can do like some recommendations, maybe at some point we'll start posting some links to, things that we dig. And like, I think we should do like fucking reviews. I think we should like do this type of thing. And then we actually talk about something that we tried to, like do one at a time type thing. So we could have like 1 million fucking videos. I think we could do this shit, bro.
We do it tap to vape, or we just like, this is tasting notes of this.
I have a name. And I'm not saying it here because I don't want nobody to take it before we actually do it.
Okay.
So, but so thank you everybody. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate y'all. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.